Fall asleep to this once, and let something deeper begin to rewrite itself in silence. Within Rewire Your Brain, the patterns that shaped your old reality slowly loosen while you rest. Listen through the night, and you may wake feeling as though your life has quietly shifted forever. Rewire Your Brain. Introduction. The night whispers secrets your conscious mind cannot hear. In the stillness between wakefulness and dreams, your subconscious weaves the fabric of your future. Every thought, every emotion that ripples through your consciousness as you surrender to sleep becomes a seed planted in the fertile ground of universal creation. You stand at the threshold of a transformative understanding. Your mind is not a fixed landscape, but a malleable terrain waiting to be sculpted by your deepest intentions. The law of attraction is not mere philosophy. It is a precise mechanism through which your inner world manifests outer realities. Imagine your thoughts as energetic blueprints. When you drift into slumber, these blueprints communicate with the unseen forces of the universe. Your brain does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It responds to the emotional frequency you transmit. Gratitude releases neurochemicals of healing. Belief rewires neural pathways. Intention becomes the architect of possibility. This journey is both spiritual and scientific. You will learn how to harness the extraordinary power residing within your ordinary moments. By understanding the sacred dialogue between your subconscious mind and universal intelligence, you can intentionally program your inner world to attract abundance, peace, and purpose. The practices you will discover are not complex rituals, but gentle redirections of your mental current. They are invitations to align your deepest self with the infinite potential that already resides within you. Each night becomes an opportunity, a sacred ceremony of transformation where you consciously seed the garden of your future experiences. Your mind is waiting. Your potential is limitless. And the universe is listening always to the quiet whispers of your heart. What I share in these readings is only the surface of a far older wisdom, the metaphysical laws that govern manifestation, energy, and reality itself. The true depth lives inside our free newsletter, The Hidden Collection. Sign up now and receive a free copy of the Kabbalion, the ancient book where these metaphysical laws were first revealed, available for a limited time only. Part 1. The Awakening Within. Chapter 1. The Doorway in the Mind. The universe whispers its wisdom through the stories of ordinary souls who discover extraordinary truths. Clara Mayfield's journey unveils a profound revelation about the power of mental landscapes. Each evening, Clara would sink into her worn armchair, her mind a tempest of complaints. "Nothing ever changes," she would murmur, recounting the day's disappointments. Her words were not mere sounds, but energetic seeds planted in the fertile ground of her subconscious. As predictably as the moon follows its celestial path, her mornings would dawn gray and heavy, mirroring the internal narrative she had woven through countless nights. The human brain is a magnificent instrument of creation, responding not to wishful thinking, but to consistent emotional frequencies. Your thoughts are not passive observers of reality. They are active architects. Neurons that repeatedly fire together create strengthened pathways, like water carving channels through stone. Clara's habitual negativity was literally reshaping her neural architecture, ensuring her experiences matched her inner dialogue. Then came the transformation. As Clara began to understand the intricate dance between thought and reality, she started to deliberately choose her mental imagery. Instead of rehearsing her struggles, she began imagining streams of possibility, landscapes of potential, moments of unexpected joy. Elijah Harper's story illuminates this principle further. Battling years of insomnia, he discovered that imagination is a powerful signal to the brain. Each night, before surrendering to sleep, he would visualize golden light flooding his mind, washing away tension. Gradually, his brain began producing matching neurochemistry. Relaxation replaced anxiety. Peace dissolved sleeplessness. This is not magical thinking, but a precise neurological mechanism. Your subconscious does not distinguish between imagined and experienced reality. When you consistently visualize calm, your brain prepares corresponding chemistry. When you breathe into images of abundance, your nervous system aligns with those frequencies. The invitation is clear. You have the power to rewrite your internal script, to become the conscious author of your experience. Practice. Each evening, before drifting off, imagine soft golden light surrounding your head, breathing slowly while stating silently one sentence of calm gratitude until your breath and thought unify into peace, forming new pathways of ease. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Intention. You stand at the threshold of understanding how your inner landscape shapes external reality. Mildred Collins represents a universal struggle, working diligently yet feeling invisible, her efforts shrouded in an energy of quiet desperation. Her experience illuminates a profound truth. The emotional frequency of your actions matters far more than the actions themselves. When you approach your work with resentment, with the belief that you are unseen or unappreciated, you create an energetic barrier that repels the very recognition and success you desire. Your brain does not merely record actions, it absorbs emotional signatures. Resentment broadcasts a signal of lack, of being overlooked, and the universe responds by rendering you precisely that, unseen. The universal law of attraction operates with exquisite precision. It does not distinguish between your conscious desires and the underlying emotional current. If your effort is tinged with frustration, your subconscious mind interprets this as confirmation of struggle. Each repetition strengthens these neural pathways, making invisibility and challenge feel like immutable truths. Contrast Mildred's journey with Franklin Dobbins, a humble teacher who transformed his inner landscape through intentional gratitude. Franklin understood that expectancy is the silent language of manifestation. By infusing his nightly reflections with cheerful anticipation, he subtly rewired his brain's predictive mechanisms. Imagine your thoughts as seeds planted in the fertile ground of consciousness. Franklin's approach was to nurture seeds of possibility, watering them with appreciation and watching as unexpected opportunities sprouted around him. His belief wasn't passive wishful thinking, but an active recalibration of his internal compass. The brain is not a static organ, but a dynamic transmitter constantly collecting evidence to support its primary narrative. When you shift your emotional tone from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to appreciation, you alter the very frequency through which you perceive and interact with the world. As you lie down, recall 3 moments of subtle beauty from your day, letting each evoke a soft smile until sleep carries that vibration into your neural code. Reprogramming the Night with Appreciation. Chapter 3. The Invisible River. In the tapestry of human experience, some threads are woven with fear, others with possibility. You have within you the power to transform those threads, to rewire the very fabric of your inner landscape. George Whitaker understood this transformation intimately. For years his mind was a landscape of scarcity, each thought a barren field where potential withered before it could bloom. His dreams were haunted by images of empty pockets, of opportunities slipping through his fingers like sand. The neural pathways of lack had become so deeply etched that abundance seemed a distant, impossible country. But the universe whispers its wisdom to those who listen. George began to shift his perception, not through aggressive striving, but through a subtle reframing. He started seeing wealth not as a collection of coins, but as a continuous flowing energy. Abundance, he realized, was a state of being, a frequency his brain could learn to transmit. The brain, that miraculous instrument of creation, does not distinguish between imagination and reality. When you consistently feed it images of flow, of generosity, of endless support, it begins to reshape its internal maps. Your neural networks, those intricate pathways of thought, start to align with the vibration of possibility. Beverly Crane's journey echoed this truth. Where once she approached life from a place of desperate need, she now drifted to sleep, envisioning herself as a conduit of giving. Her transformation was not about acquiring, but about understanding that true abundance emerges when you become a channel of generosity. This is the profound secret. Your mind is a mirror, constantly reflecting back the energy you transmit. Fear constricts, contracts, and limits. Openness expands, connects, and reveals. When you learn to attune yourself to the frequency of abundance, you signal to your entire being that you are supported, that resources are not scarce but infinite. The mind learns through repetition, through the gentle but consistent reprogramming of its default settings. Each night becomes an opportunity to realign, to breathe into a different possibility. Tonight, as darkness embraces you and the boundary between waking and dreaming softens, picture yourself floating on a calm river of endless support. Breathe into the certainty that all you require already rushes toward you through unseen channels, programming ease into your brain. Let the river of abundance carry you, whispering to your deepest self, you are supported, you are provided for, you are enough. Chapter 4. Seeds of Belief. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where the invisible currents of consciousness flow beyond the boundaries of what you've been taught to believe. Hattie Monroe's story echoes the silent struggle of countless souls trapped in the illusion of limitation. For years, she had woven a tapestry of doubt, each thread spun from moments of perceived failure and unmet expectations. Her evenings would close like heavy curtains, blocking out the possibility of change. Some people are simply lucky, she would whisper to herself, the words becoming chains that bound her potential. But the universal law of attraction speaks a different truth, one that pulses beneath the surface of perceived reality. The mind is not a fixed landscape, but a living, breathing ecosystem that responds to the subtle vibrations of belief. Your neurons do not require external validation. They dance to the rhythm of your deepest convictions. When you truly feel a truth, your entire biological system begins to reorganize itself around that feeling. Randolph Pearce understood this profound principle. Where others saw obstacles, he saw opportunity. His nightly ritual was not mere positive thinking, but a deliberate reprogramming of his internal narrative. "I am ready for overflow," he would affirm, not as a wishful statement, but as an absolute truth that resonated through every cell. This is the art of psychological scripting, where repetition meets emotion, and emotion becomes the architect of new neural pathways. Your brain does not distinguish between what is and what you intensely believe could be. It simply follows the map you draw with your feelings, your images, your persistent inner dialogue. The law of attraction is not a mystical concept floating beyond reach, but a precise mechanism of consciousness. It operates with the same reliability as gravity, responding to the frequency of your internal state. Your thoughts are not mere whispers into the void, but transmissions that reshape your neurological landscape. Each time you affirm your worth, each moment you allow yourself to feel the expansion of possibility, you are rewriting the code of your potential. The universe does not judge your past. It responds to your present vibration. Your cells are listening, always listening, waiting for you to send a clear, unambiguous signal of who you are becoming. Just before sleep, pronounce silently a simple truth of self-worth, feeling warmth expand in your chest as though your words were painting a message inside your cells that new realities are safe to live. Chapter 5. The Whispers We Forget. In the quiet moments between wakefulness and dreams, your mind reveals its most profound truths. You are not merely a passive receiver of life's circumstances, but an active creator, weaving reality through the threads of your inner dialogue. Lucille Bennett knew this truth intimately. For years, she had been unconsciously programming her nights with a relentless stream of anxious thoughts. Each evening, her fingers would dance across her phone screen, consuming stories of worry, scrolling through scenarios of potential failure, her mind a turbulent sea of unanchored fears. But something shifted when she understood the sacred power of her nightly narrative. Your thoughts are not mere whispers. They are incantations, spells cast into the universe that draw corresponding experiences toward you. Every word you speak internally becomes a seed, carefully planted in the fertile ground of your subconscious. Lucille began to witness her thoughts, observing how each anxious narrative constructed invisible walls around her potential. She realized her nightly scrolling was a ritual of manifestation, just not the kind she truly desired. Then came Theodore Gray, whose wisdom illuminated another path. He shared how he transformed his inner landscape by deliberately whispering "thank you" into the silence of night, not from a place of forced positivity, but genuine reverence. His practice was simple yet profound, acknowledging the unseen support surrounding him. As Theodore would recount, tears would often replace tension during these moments. Not tears of sadness, but of recognition, a deep understanding that gratitude dismantles fear's architecture. With each whispered appreciation, he rewrote neural pathways, inviting trust where anxiety once resided. The universe listens not to your words, but to the frequency of your inner dialogue. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you fear and what you wish. It simply receives and begins constructing matching realities. You are more powerful than you know, Your inner conversation is a continuous broadcast, sending signals that magnetize experiences. Each thought is an invitation, each emotion a vibrational signal calling forth corresponding energies. As you settle into sleep, allow your self-talk to slow into one tender sentence of appreciation, hearing your voice become quiet music that lulls your subconscious into harmony. Some of what I share in these readings touches metaphysical laws that cannot be fully revealed in a single video. If you are ready for the deeper current, the knowledge reserved for those who truly seek, I've placed it inside our free newsletter, The Hidden Collection. Subscribe now and you'll also receive a free copy of the Kybalion, the ancient text where these metaphysical laws were first written down. Available for a limited time only. Chapter 6. The Architecture of Feeling. You have been listening, absorbing the whispers that dance between consciousness and dreams. Now you will understand the true alchemy of transformation, the sacred art of emotional resonance. Mabel Sutton once believed that desire alone could manifest miracles. She would close her eyes and recite elaborate wishes, her mind constructing intricate scenarios of success. Yet nothing shifted. Her dreams remained distant landscapes, beautiful but untouchable. The universe revealed to her a fundamental truth. Thoughts are mere blueprints, but emotions are the construction crew that breathe life into those designs. Wishing without feeling is like drawing a house without ever intending to build it. The emotional charge, the vibrant, visceral experience of already having what you desire, that is the electricity that illuminates the blueprint. Vernon Phelps understood this secret intimately. Diagnosed with a condition doctors called chronic, he refused to accept their limitations. Each night, before surrendering to sleep, he would not just visualize healing, he would feel the healing. He would sense the warmth of vitality coursing through his body, the lightness of complete wellness radiating from his cells. His visualization was not a passive daydream, but an active communion with his body's potential. He didn't just see himself healthy. He felt the joy of movement, the freedom of unrestricted breath, the vibrant energy of complete restoration. And something remarkable happened. His body began to respond. The neural pathways started to reorganize, influenced by the consistent emotional landscape he was creating each night. Doctors were perplexed as markers of his condition began to shift, then dramatically improve. This is the profound mechanism of transformation. Emotion converts visualization into brain instruction. Your feelings are not mere passengers in the journey of manifestation. They are the drivers, the navigators, the very fuel of creation. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is happening and what is vividly felt. When you merge emotion with intention, you send a powerful signal through your entire energetic system. You are no longer just thinking change, you are experiencing it. Tonight, bring a single joyful memory to mind and merge it with your current desire until the two blur, letting your body actually feel the fulfillment as you drift to sleep, cementing it in neural clay. Chapter 7. The Place of Letting Go. You have been taught to grip tightly, to control every moment, every outcome. But life's most profound transformations emerge not through force, but through gentle release. Dorothy Lane discovered this truth when her relentless attempts to manipulate her world left her depleted. Her nervous system wound like an over-tightened spring. Dorothy's days were a constant battle of strategic planning, her mind always churning with contingencies. She believed that if she could just think hard enough, plan carefully enough, she could bend reality to her will. Yet, the more she struggled, the more resistance she encountered, and the further her desires seemed to retreat. The universal wisdom whispers a different approach. Resistance creates friction. Surrender creates flow. Your neural pathways are not constructed through willful pushing, but through relaxed allowing. When you release the need to control, you create spaciousness for inspiration, for unexpected solutions, for grace to enter. Gilbert Frost understood this principle intimately. Each night, as darkness settled and the day's tensions began to dissolve, he would breathe a simple yet powerful incantation. I release what I cannot manage. These words were not mere phrases, but keys unlocking the subconscious mind's regenerative powers. Imagine your consciousness as a garden. Tight control is like soil packed so hard that no seed can take root. Surrender is the gentle tilling that allows new possibilities to emerge. When you soften your grip, you signal to your brain that it is safe to explore new pathways, to reimagine old patterns. Your nervous system craves this relaxation. Modern science confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. Relaxation is not passivity, but an active state of receptivity. In this state, your brain can reorganize, heal, and realign with your deepest intentions. The art of surrender is not about giving up, but about giving space. It is trusting that the intelligence which orchestrates galaxies can also guide your personal journey. When you release the tight grip of control, you open channels of intuition, creativity, and unexpected resolution. Gilbert's nightly practice was a ritual of neural reprogramming. By consciously releasing what he could not control, he was teaching his brain a new response to stress. Each utterance was a gentle instruction. You are safe. You can let go. Practice. Rest tonight by exhaling long and imagining burdens leaving like mist, trusting that relief itself is a fertile soil for new patterns to root within the sleeping brain. Chapter 8. Music of the Mind. As you drift through the landscapes of consciousness, you understand that your inner symphony plays a continuous melody, one that either harmonizes with your deepest aspirations or discordantly echoes your unresolved tensions. Your mind is not merely a vessel of thoughts, but a living instrument capable of tuning itself to transformative frequencies. Eleanor Klein's journey illuminates this profound truth. For years, she carried internal rhythms of anxiety, repetitive mental loops that hummed beneath her awareness, coloring every experience with a subtle undertone of unease. These unconscious melodies were not mere background noise, but active composers of her lived reality. The universal wisdom whispers. Rhythm and repetition are the architects of mental familiarity. What you allow to play repeatedly within your inner soundscape becomes the very texture of your perception. Your brain does not simply hear music, it absorbs its emotional resonance, encoding each note as a potential neural pathway. Lester Wainwright understood this mystical principle intuitively. Facing persistent challenges, he began a nightly ritual of humming a gentle, hopeful melody, a simple tune that carried notes of tranquility and promise. Not through forceful intention, but through soft, consistent repetition, he gradually rewrote his internal musical script. As Lester continued this practice, something remarkable occurred. His mornings began to feel different, lighter, more spacious. The tune he hummed before sleep seemed to wash through his neural networks, smoothing jagged emotional edges and realigning his inner landscape with serenity. This is not mere metaphor, but a profound neurological truth. Sound carries vibrational information that can recalibrate your brain's emotional setting. Each note, when imbued with genuine feeling, becomes a messenger that can transform your internal state. Your brain listens continuously, even in sleep. It does not judge or filter like your conscious mind, but absorbs and integrates the emotional frequencies you consistently broadcast. By choosing compassionate, peaceful melodies, whether external sounds or internal imagined tunes, you signal to your deepest self that harmony is possible. Hum or imagine a calm tune associated with serenity as sleep begins, feeling each note wash your brain with kindness, setting memory pathways to compassion's frequency. Chapter 9. The Garden of Thought. In the quiet tapestry of human experience, you are both gardener and garden, a living ecosystem where thoughts take root and flourish with remarkable precision. Pearl Rogers understood this truth long before modern neuroscience could articulate its intricate mechanics. She realized that consciousness operates like a verdant landscape, where attention functions as water and intention serves as sunlight. Your mind is not a static realm, but a dynamic terrain constantly reshaped by what you choose to nurture. Each thought you repeatedly focus upon strengthens neural pathways, much like a gardener tending specific plants while allowing others to wither. The brain does not distinguish between productive and unproductive patterns. It simply reinforces what receives consistent energy. Silas Dunbar exemplified this principle through his deliberate cultivation of connection. Night after night, he would visualize warm interactions, imagining conversations filled with understanding and genuine companionship. Where once he felt isolated, he now found himself surrounded by meaningful relationships. His inner landscape transformed by the seeds of intention he carefully planted. The universal law governing this process is elegantly simple. What you consistently focus upon expands. Your brain's neuroplasticity ensures that repeated mental patterns become increasingly efficient neural highways. Thoughts are not mere ephemeral whispers, but powerful architects of your lived experience. This understanding transcends mere positive thinking. It is a sophisticated interaction between consciousness, neurochemistry, and quantum potential. Your consistent emotional tone and mental imagery send precise instructions to your subconscious, which then orchestrates environmental synchronicities matching those internal broadcasts. The practice of selective attention becomes your most potent tool. By consciously choosing which mental seeds to water, you redesign your internal ecosystem. Some thoughts you'll gently prune, others you'll nurture with loving dedication. Your awareness becomes the gardener, your emotions the nourishing soil. Before sleep, picture your mind as a luminous garden, choosing one seed of love to tend, seeing it sprout in tomorrow's actions. Chapter 10. The First Light of Awareness. When Irene Fletcher first discovered the power of a mindful breath, her world transformed like a landscape emerging from dense fog. Her nightly ritual had always been a tumble of anxious thoughts, racing memories, and unresolved tensions that wound themselves tightly around her consciousness. But on that pivotal evening, something shifted. You might wonder what makes a single breath so potent. The answer lies in its remarkable ability to interrupt the automatic circuits of the mind. Each conscious breath is like a gentle reset button, momentarily suspending the brain's habitual patterns and creating a space of pure awareness. Irene learned that mindfulness is not about eliminating thoughts, but about observing them without judgment. She discovered that when she simply watched her thoughts drift like clouds across the sky of her consciousness, they lost their grip on her emotional state. The teaching reveals a profound neurological truth. Awareness itself is a transformative force. Patrick Lowell's experience further illuminated this principle. A high school mathematics teacher burdened by years of accumulated stress, he began practicing attentive breathing before sleep. At first, his mind resisted, throwing up barriers of distraction and old narratives. But with persistent, gentle observation, something remarkable occurred. His dreams, once filled with scenarios of struggle and limitation, began to shift. Positive imagery emerged, landscapes of possibility, interactions of understanding, moments of unexpected joy. This was not mere coincidence, but a direct result of rewiring his neural pathways through mindful awareness. The interpretation is clear. Consciousness is not a fixed state, but a fluid, malleable experience. By observing your thoughts, without becoming entangled in them, you create neurological space for transformation. Each breath becomes a tool of liberation, gently disrupting old patterns and inviting new possibilities. This is the art of mindful awareness, a practice both ancient and profoundly scientific. It operates at the intersection of meditation and neurobiology, where attention becomes the architect of experience. As you rest tonight, follow your breath gently until thoughts slow, remaining awake just long enough to feel your mind soften, imprinting calm observation as a new nightly habit. Beneath every teaching on this channel runs a deeper metaphysical current, the unseen laws that shape reality itself. For those whose awareness is ready to receive it, I've gathered the deeper layer inside our free newsletter, The Hidden Collection. Join now, and you'll also receive a free copy of the Kybalion, the original text that revealed these metaphysical laws to the world. Limited time only. Part 2. The Dance of Energy. Chapter 11. The Language of Emotion. In the quiet chambers of your inner world, emotions are not enemies to be vanquished, but messengers carrying wisdom waiting to be understood. You have been taught to push away uncomfortable feelings, to mask them with forced smiles or busy distractions. Yet within this concealment lies a deeper truth. Every emotion unexplored becomes a silent architect of your unconscious landscape. Winifred Carver's journey illuminates this universal principle. For years she constructed elaborate walls around her sadness, believing that by denying its existence, she could prevent its power. But emotions are not obedient servants to be commanded. They are living energies that, when suppressed, grow more potent in their silence. Her nights were filled with restless dreams, shadows of unacknowledged grief dancing behind closed eyelids. Each morning she would awaken feeling heavier, not understanding that her resistance was creating deeper grooves of pain within her neural pathways. Then came the moment of transformation. Instead of fighting her sadness, Winifred began to listen. She started allowing her emotions space to breathe, to speak their hidden language. She would sit with her feelings, not as a judge, but as a compassionate witness. Milton Greeley showed a similar path of emotional alchemy. Each evening he would create a sacred ritual of acceptance. Feelings that once terrified him, anger, grief, disappointment, were now greeted with gentle curiosity. "I see you," he would whisper to these emotional currents. "You are welcome here." The brain responds to such tender acknowledgement. When emotions are met with kindness, they lose their charge of resistance. They begin to flow, to transform, to release their grip on your inner landscape. Your mind is not a battlefield where emotions are conquered, but a living ecosystem where they can be understood. Each feeling carries a message, a subtle vibration of your deeper self seeking recognition. As you prepare for rest, remember that emotional honesty is the key to neural fluidity. Your feelings are not obstacles, but bridges, connecting your conscious awareness to the vast, unexplored territories of your inner world. Practice. Before sleep, name your emotion kindly. Breathe through it until it softens, watching it transform into peace recorded deep within your mind. Chapter 12. The Current of Joy. You might believe that gratitude is a simple act of mental recitation, a checklist of thankful thoughts to be ticked off before sleep. But true emotional alchemy runs deeper than words whispered without feeling. Your body knows the difference between manufactured appreciation and genuine joy. Beatrice Holbrook understood this truth through painful revelation. She had spent years practicing gratitude as an intellectual exercise, listing blessings each night with mechanical precision. "I am thankful for my home," she would write. "I am grateful for my health." Yet nothing shifted. Her days remained gray, her experiences unchanged, her spirit untouched. The universal law reveals a profound mystery. Emotion is not a thought, but a vibration. Authentic feeling resonates through your entire being, sending signals far more powerful than mental constructions. Your body is an intricate antenna, transmitting and receiving energetic frequencies that your conscious mind can scarcely comprehend. Thomas Kirby embodied this principle effortlessly. Where Beatrice calculated her thankfulness, Thomas allowed joy to flow naturally. Before sleeping, he would recall moments of pure, unrestrained laughter. He'd visualize success not as a distant goal, but as a living, breathing reality that made his body tingle with excitement. His imagination wasn't a careful strategy, but a playground of genuine emotion. The difference was visceral. When Thomas imagined achieving his dreams, his body would respond, a spontaneous smile, a lightness in his chest, a warmth spreading through his limbs. These were not manufactured responses, but authentic, energetic signals of alignment. Your subconscious does not understand intellectual affirmations. It comprehends feeling. It reads the language of emotion written in the subtle chemistry of your body, in the electromagnetic signals of your heart, in the nuanced vibrations of your cellular structure. Authentic joy cannot be forced. It must be allowed. It emerges when you create space for genuine feeling, when you permit your body to experience emotion without judgment or constraint. Each laugh, each moment of true delight, becomes a precise instruction to your inner landscape. The universal intelligence listens not to your words, but to the energy behind them. It tracks the frequency of your being, the true resonance of your emotional state. When your feelings align with your desires, not through manipulation but through genuine connection, miracles begin to unfold. Smile softly as slumber comes, replaying one moment that makes your body smile too, encoding joy as your default setting. Chapter 13. The Quiet Altar. Your breath holds more power than you realize. It is the bridge between the conscious and unconscious, a sacred pathway through which transformation whispers its most intimate secrets. When Ruth Chandler first understood this, her entire relationship with herself began to change. Ruth had spent years battling inner turbulence, her mind a tempest of unresolved emotions and scattered thoughts. Each night, she would collapse into bed exhausted, her nervous system perpetually on high alert. But something shifted when she learned to transform her breathing into a ritual of restoration. She began simply. One hand on her heart, the other on her belly, she would draw air slowly, consciously. Not just breathing, but listening to the breath. Each inhalation became an invitation to stillness, each exhalation a release of the day's accumulated tensions. Leon Pratt, a retired teacher who had studied meditation for decades, understood this art intimately. He knew that breath was more than mere oxygen exchange. It was communication. Each intentional breath sent signals deeper than words, programming the subconscious with messages of tranquility. Your breath can be a sacred instrument. When you breathe with awareness, you are not just moving air through your lungs, but transmitting instructions to your entire neural network. You are teaching your body a new language of calm, rewiring automatic stress responses into pathways of peace. The practice is not about perfection, but presence. It's about creating a moment of reverence, of stepping back from the day's narratives and connecting with something larger than your immediate experiences. As you prepare to rest, you have a choice. You can carry the day's tensions into your sleep, or you can create an internal altar of acceptance. This is not about forgetting or suppressing, but about acknowledging and then gently releasing. Place your day upon an invisible altar of acceptance. Breathe into this moment of surrender, feeling each exhale carry away what no longer serves you. Let your breath become a bridge between the known and the unknown, between your conscious intentions and the mysterious realm of dreams. Chapter 14. The Echo of Words. In the quiet chambers of consciousness, words weave their silent spell, threading through the delicate neural pathways of your mind. You might not realize how each whispered phrase becomes a blueprint for your inner landscape, constructing belief structures that either confine or liberate your potential. Consider Clifford Boone, whose nightly ritual of negative repetition had become a fortress of limitation. "I'm not good enough," he would murmur, his words like cold stones building walls around his dreams. With each utterance, his brain diligently recorded these instructions, transforming fleeting thoughts into entrenched neural pathways. His inner dialogue was a relentless sculptor, chiseling away at his self-worth, creating a reality of restriction and doubt. The universal law of language reveals a profound truth. Your words are not mere sounds, but energetic commands that your subconscious interprets as direct instructions. Every phrase you repeat becomes a potential blueprint for your experience, whether spoken aloud or whispered in the sanctuary of your mind. Edna Wolfe understood this principle of linguistic alchemy. Where Clifford constructed walls, she began building bridges. Each evening she would introduce mantras of empowerment. "I am worthy of love and abundance," she would softly declare, her voice a gentle instrument recalibrating her inner narrative. These words were not empty affirmations, but precise neural instructions, gradually rewiring her perception of self. Your language is a creative force, more powerful than you might comprehend. It is the bridge between your inner world and external reality, a translator of consciousness that transforms abstract thought into tangible experience. When you speak to yourself, you are not simply describing your reality. You are actively generating it. The brain does not distinguish between a thought repeatedly imagined and a lived experience. It responds to emotional charge and consistent narrative, recording these patterns as potential blueprints for future action. Your words, infused with genuine feeling, become the architects of your unfolding story. As you stand at the threshold of transformation, recognize that your linguistic choices are sacred. Each word is a seed, each phrase a potential pathway. Choose them with the reverence of an artist, the precision of a scientist, and the wisdom of a sage. Practice. Choose one loving sentence tonight, murmuring it until dreamlike calm envelops you. Chapter 15. The Path of Trust. Your words are not mere sounds floating into the air, but living energies that shape the landscape of your inner world. Each utterance carries a vibration that resonates through your nervous system, creating neural pathways that become the architecture of your lived experience. Agnes Harper understood this truth the hard way. For years, her constant worrying etched deep grooves of anxiety into her body's biological system. Her language was a relentless stream of doubt. What if something goes wrong? I can never catch a break. Health is so fragile. These phrases weren't just words. They were instructions to her cellular intelligence, programming her body into a state of perpetual tension. But transformation began when she learned that faith is not blind belief, but a relaxed certainty that life moves in harmony with your deepest intentions. Herbert Lawson, a retired physician who had studied the intricate dance between mind and body, shared how he reversed his own chronic stress. "Words are like keys," Herbert would say, "and your body is the lock. Speak with trust and watch how your biology responds." For Herbert, faith meant speaking from a place of calm assurance. Instead of describing his health problems, he would quietly affirm, "My body knows how to heal. I am supported by forces greater than my momentary challenges." These weren't just affirmations, but precise neural re-scripting. The science behind this approach is profound. When you speak with genuine trust, your parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest, repair, and recovery, becomes activated. Your heart rate softens, stress hormones diminish, and your immune system receives signals of safety. Agnes began to understand that her constant worry was not protection, but a form of self-sabotage. Each anxious thought was like a small poison, constricting her body's natural healing mechanisms. By shifting her language, she could invite a different biological response. Her transformation wasn't instantaneous, but gradual. She started replacing statements of fear with declarations of trust. "I am resilient" became her new mantra. "My body knows how to balance itself," replaced her old narratives of fragility. "The universe," Herbert reminded her, "responds to the frequency of your inner dialogue. Your words are not just sounds. but vibrational commands that orchestrate your lived reality. Practice. Rest, trusting that all is working for your growth, letting each exhale affirm life's cooperation. There are metaphysical truths I cannot speak openly in these readings, laws too powerful to share with those who are not yet ready. For the ones who are, I've placed the deeper teachings inside our free newsletter, The Hidden Collection. Subscribe now and you'll also receive a free copy of The Kabbalion, the ancient text where these metaphysical laws were first preserved, available for a limited time only. Chapter 16. The Forgiveness Frequency. You stand at the threshold of a profound transformation where the energy of forgiveness becomes your most powerful healing tool. Your mind is not a fixed landscape, but a dynamic terrain that can be reshaped by the intention you cultivate each night. Louise Carter's life was a testament to the destructive power of unresolved resentment. Each evening she would replay memories of past hurts like a worn-out recording, her mind spinning intricate narratives of betrayal and pain. These nightly mental rehearsals were more than mere memories. They were active programming sessions where she unknowingly instructed her nervous system to maintain a state of perpetual unrest. The universe whispers a deeper truth. Forgiveness is not about condoning past actions, but about releasing the energetic grip those memories hold on your present moment. It is a sacred act of neurological liberation. Floyd Kramer understood this principle intimately. A retired military chaplain who had witnessed the most profound human struggles, he discovered that forgiveness was not a single moment, but a practice of gradual release. Each night, he would sit in quiet meditation, breathing into the spaces where old wounds resided. Forgiveness, Floyd would often say, is not about forgetting. It's about transforming the energy that keeps you bound to pain. His nightly practice was deliberate and gentle. He would close his eyes and breathe deeply, allowing memories of conflict to surface without judgment. Instead of fighting against these memories, he would visualize them as clouds passing through the vast sky of his consciousness. Each breath became a tool of compassionate release. The science of forgiveness is remarkable. When you genuinely forgive, your body undergoes a profound biochemical shift. Stress hormones like cortisol decrease, while neurotransmitters associated with peace and connection, such as oxytocin, begin to flow more freely. Your nervous system moves from a state of defensive contraction to one of expansive healing. For Louise, this journey began with understanding that her nightly rehearsals of resentment were not protecting her, but imprisoning her. Each replay of past hurts was like maintaining a closed circuit of pain, preventing new possibilities from entering her life. Compassion, you learn, is not weakness. It is a sophisticated neurological strategy for healing. When you choose to forgive, you are not erasing history, but rewiring your relationship to that history. You are reclaiming your power to define your present moment. Floyd's method was simple yet profound. He would visualize the person who had caused him pain, surrounding them with golden light of understanding. This was not about absolving their actions, but about freeing himself from the energetic entanglement of resentment. Practice. Envision forgiveness as golden light leaving your chest, freeing your circuits to encode peace. Chapter 17. The Breath of Desire. In the quiet corners of her modest apartment, Opal Jennings held her dreams like fragile glass figurines, afraid they might shatter at the slightest touch of hope. Her life had become a carefully constructed fortress of caution, where desires were whispered only in the most private moments, then quickly hushed and hidden away. Each night when the world grew silent, Opal would feel the weight of unexpressed longings pressing against her chest. Dreams of becoming a writer, of sharing stories that could touch hearts, trembled just beneath the surface of her consciousness. But fear had become her constant companion. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of revealing the tender vulnerabilities that lived within her soul. The universe speaks in the language of permission, and Opal's suppressed desires were sending a continuous signal of unworthiness. Her neural pathways had been carefully constructed to protect her from potential disappointment. But in doing so, they had also sealed off the channels of possibility. Enter Wallace Eaton, a man who had learned the art of breathing dreams into existence. Where Opal saw barriers, Wallace perceived openings. His journey had taught him that desires are not threats to be guarded against, but invitations to be embraced. Wallace understood that the mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. It simply responds to the emotional frequency you transmit. By breathing life into his dreams, by allowing them space to exist without judgment, he had discovered a profound truth. Permission is the first step to manifestation. Your dreams are not random whispers, but encoded messages from your deeper self. They are the soul's language, speaking truths that your conscious mind might resist. When you suppress these messages, you send a signal of doubt to your internal system. Each time you silence a dream, you reinforce a neural pathway of limitation. The interpretation is clear. Neural openness requires emotional permission. Your brain is a responsive mechanism, constantly seeking to align with the dominant frequency of your inner narrative. When you breathe your dreams, truly feel them, not just think about them, you activate a powerful neurological response. Imagine your desires not as distant possibilities, but as living, breathing entities waiting to be welcomed. They are not external achievements to be chased, but internal states to be embraced. Your nervous system is constantly listening, always ready to match the emotional resonance you consistently transmit. Wallace had learned to treat his dreams like trusted friends. He would spend his evenings breathing them into existence, feeling their potential with every inhale and exhale. And gradually, almost imperceptibly, guidance would arrive, synchronicities, connections, unexpected opportunities that seemed to emerge from the very fabric of possibility. Breathe in your vision slowly, letting its fulfillment feel inevitable as drowsiness arrives. Chapter 18. The Sacred Pause. Your breath carries more power than you realize. Like a river carving its path through stone, your intention shapes reality not through force, but through gentle, persistent presence. Cora Madison once treated her spiritual practices like a checklist, racing through affirmations with mechanical efficiency, her words hollow and hurried. She believed manifestation was about speed and volume, about shouting her desires into the universe with increasing desperation. But true manifestation whispers, not roars. The universal wisdom reveals that patience is the secret language of transformation. When you rush, you signal to your inner landscape that you do not trust the unfolding. Your nervous system registers this urgency as tension, not as invitation. Eugene Barker understood this differently. Before uttering a single intention, he would sit in complete stillness. 5 minutes of pure, receptive silence. No agenda, no pushing, no demanding. In those moments, something profound would emerge, not from his thinking mind, but from the vast intelligence that breathes beneath thought. Your intentions gain potency not through their volume, but through the quality of presence you bring. Imagine your desires as delicate seeds. They do not grow through forceful yanking, but through patient, attentive care. Each breath becomes a nurturing whisper, each moment of stillness a drop of sacred water. The brain learns through rhythm and repetition, but more importantly, through feeling. When you approach your dreams with calm expectancy rather than frantic need, you signal to your neural pathways that what you desire is already welcome, already possible. Stillness is not passive. It is the most active state of creation. In silence, your subconscious recalibrates, your energy reorganizes, and your intuition speaks its quiet wisdom. Here, clarity is not something you chase, but something that naturally arises when you stop interrupting its emergence. Practice. Allow a brief quiet before bed, surrendering effort, feeling wisdom arise naturally beneath thought. Chapter 19. The Compass of Appreciation. In the quiet landscape of human emotion, where inner terrain shapes outer reality, you will discover that the seeds of transformation often sprout from unexpected ground. Nettie Burns once walked a path shadowed by comparison, her nights filled with silent measurements against the achievements of others. Envy, that subtle poison, had long coursed through her veins, creating a landscape of perpetual lack. But something profound shifted when she learned to transmute envy into genuine admiration. This was not mere positive thinking, but a radical rewiring of her internal emotional circuitry. Where once she saw another's success and felt diminished, she began to recognize it as evidence of what was possible, a living blueprint of potential. The teaching crystallizes a fundamental truth. Admiration carries the pure frequency of arrival. When you genuinely celebrate another's triumph, you signal to your neural networks that such success is not only achievable but already familiar. Your brain cannot distinguish between vicarious joy and direct experience. It simply registers the emotional resonance. Roy Nichols understood this principle intuitively. Each evening, he would craft gratitude lists that were more than mere inventories of blessing. They were emotional compasses calibrating his inner guidance system. By acknowledging not just what he had, but the generosity behind each experience, he created a vibrational invitation for more kindness. Your journey mirrors theirs. Admiration is not weakness, but a powerful form of spiritual recognition. When you witness excellence and feel expanded rather than contracted, you are aligning with the universal current of abundance. Your appreciation becomes a form of energetic alignment, drawing similar experiences toward you with remarkable precision. The interpretation reveals a profound truth. Appreciation is a language the universe understands instantly. It transcends thought and speaks directly to the quantum field of potential. By choosing to see the beauty in others' journeys, you recalibrate your own internal frequency. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, luminous field. Every moment of genuine appreciation sends ripples through this field, creating harmonic waves that attract corresponding experiences. You are not just observing life. You are actively sculpting its unfolding through the quality of your attention. As sleep approaches, allow yourself to fall into a gentle practice of gratitude. Breathe softly, feeling each exhale release comparison and judgment. Fall asleep repeating soft thanks for both given and awaiting blessings, letting your appreciation become a tender lullaby that guides you toward unexpected grace. Chapter 20. The Bridge of Imagination. In the quiet moments before sleep, your mind holds a power more profound than you might realize. Imagination is not mere fantasy, but a neurological compass that guides your reality's unfolding. Hazel Morton understood this truth intimately when her life seemed constrained by circumstance and limitation. For years, Hazel had watched her dreams shrink, her aspirations becoming smaller with each passing season. Her world felt like a narrow corridor, with walls of doubt and fear closing in. She had accepted her circumstances, believing that some were destined for expansion, while others remained fixed in their modest landscapes. But something shifted when Hazel discovered the transformative potential of mental imagery. She began to understand that her brain did not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual lived moment. Each time she closed her eyes, she started painting intricate pictures of her desired life, not with desperation, but with gentle, curious exploration. Claude Rivers exemplified this principle beautifully. Each night he would close his eyes and construct a detailed mental landscape of his dream home. He didn't just see the house. He felt the warmth of sunlight on its wooden floors, heard the soft rustling of nearby trees, smelled the fragrant garden, and sensed the peaceful atmosphere of his imagined sanctuary. Neuroscience reveals that when you imagine an experience with rich sensory detail, your brain activates similar neural networks as it would during an actual experience. This means your imagination is not idle dreaming, but a powerful rehearsal ground where potential futures are first choreographed. Your brain is a remarkable instrument, constantly learning and adapting. When you feed it consistent, emotionally charged imagery, it begins to recognize this vision as a potential reality. The neurons start forming new pathways, creating biochemical and electrical patterns that align with your imagined scenario. For Hazel and Claude, visualization was more than a technique. It was a form of inner alchemy. By repeatedly immersing themselves in the sensory-rich landscape of their desired experiences, they were subtly rewiring their neural circuitry, making their dreams feel increasingly possible and probable. The key is not just to see your desired life, but to feel it completely. Engage all your senses. Let the emotional texture of your visualization be rich, warm, and utterly convincing to your subconscious mind. Practice. Picture your desired life through all senses as you drift away, bridging today to tomorrow's miracle. Part 3. The Rewired Reality. Chapter 21. The Morning After Thought. You stand at the threshold of transformation, where the night's whispers become tomorrow's reality. Imagine your mind as a sacred landscape where each thought casts its seed, where the stories you tell yourself before sleep become the architects of your waking world. Esther Blake understood this mystery intimately. For years, her evenings were filled with anxious narratives, replaying workplace tensions, family conflicts, and personal doubts. She would curl into her bed, her mind a turbulent storm of worry, unconsciously programming her tomorrow with fear's intricate language. But something shifted when she began to recognize the power of her nocturnal narratives. Each thought before sleep was not merely a fleeting moment, but a profound instruction to her subconscious mind. Her neural pathways were listening, recording, preparing to manifest whatever emotional terrain she cultivated in those quiet moments between wakefulness and dreams. Arthur Webb discovered a similar truth. A man once consumed by financial stress and professional uncertainty, he learned to transform his nightly ritual. Instead of allowing his mind to spiral into worry, he began deliberately choosing stories of love, possibility, and calm. He would visualize scenarios of support, of unexpected generosity, of inner peace flowing through his life like a gentle river. The science behind this transformation is remarkable. Your brain does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you immerse yourself in a feeling, truly feeling it, not just thinking about it, you signal your neural networks to prepare for that reality. Your body begins to produce matching neurochemicals. Your nervous system aligns with the emotional frequency you've chosen. This is not magical thinking, but a profound understanding of how consciousness operates. Your consistent emotional state becomes a magnetic field, attracting experiences that resonate with its frequency. By carefully curating your nighttime emotional landscape, you are essentially redesigning the blueprint of your lived experience. The universe responds to your inner state, not to your sporadic wishes or occasional visualizations. It is the persistent, felt sense of your desired reality that creates transformation. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always preparing, always working to match your dominant emotional narrative. As night approaches and you prepare to cross the threshold into sleep, you hold immense creative power. Your imagination is not a passive playground, but an active workshop where new realities are drafted, where limiting patterns can be dissolved, and where your most profound aspirations can take root. Practice. Upon lying down, sense the feeling you wish to wake within. Hold it tenderly until it sinks inward. Chapter 22. The Symphony of Alignment. In the quiet theater of consciousness, your mind is both the stage and the playwright, crafting narratives that echo through your waking life. Flora Dawson learned this truth the hard way. Her inner world a landscape of competing whispers and fragmented desires. Imagine your thoughts as musicians in an orchestra. When each instrument plays its own melody without regard for harmony, the result is cacophony, noise that disrupts rather than creates. Flora's intentions were precisely this: scattered notes without rhythm, wishes without coherence. Her days felt like a constant negotiation between what she claimed to want and what her deeper self truly believed. She would declare abundance, yet her underlying narrative hummed with scarcity. She spoke of love, but her heart resonated with old wounds of rejection. These misalignments created a subtle interference, like radio signals crossing and canceling each other out. Victor Malone showed a different path, a quiet soul who understood that true manifestation emerges from inner alignment. He practiced a nightly ritual of harmonizing thought and emotion. Before sleep, he would breathe deeply, feeling each intention vibrate in perfect resonance with his heartbeat. The universal law of attraction responds not to isolated thoughts, but to the complete energetic signature you transmit. When your mental vision, emotional landscape, and core beliefs sing the same song, reality begins to listen. Victor understood this profound principle. Synchronicity is not magic, but the natural outcome of internal coherence. Each evening, he would sit in stillness, allowing his desires to merge with his sense of worthiness. He didn't just imagine success, he felt its inevitability. He didn't just hope for connection, he embodied the vibration of belonging. This wasn't mere positive thinking, but a deep recalibration of his inner frequency. Your mind is an instrument of creation, constantly broadcasting signals that draw corresponding experiences. When conflicting frequencies compete, hope battling doubt, desire wrestling with fear, you create static, a neutral zone where manifestation becomes uncertain. The art of alignment is subtle, yet powerful. It requires you to become a careful listener to your inner dialogue, to notice where your thoughts might be working against each other. Are you declaring abundance while feeling secretly unworthy? Are you seeking love while harboring beliefs about loneliness? Victor's practice revealed that true manifestation happens not through force, but through harmony. By creating internal agreement, where your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs resonate at the same pitch, you become a clear channel for the experiences you desire. As sleep approaches, feel your thoughts and emotions hum at one pitch before sleep, resonating as invitation to matching realities. Chapter 23. The Practice of Receiving. The symphony of alignment continues, revealing how the universe responds not to demand, but to the subtle art of receptivity. You are about to uncover a profound truth, that receiving is an energy, not an action. Harlan Briggs had always approached life like a warrior demanding tribute. His hands were clenched, his mind rigid with expectation. Each prayer was a command, each desire a battlefield where he fought against the very universe he sought to engage. He would stand with arms crossed, challenging the cosmic forces. Show me a sign. Prove your existence. But the universe does not respond to commands. It whispers to open hearts, to those who have learned the delicate art of allowing. Nancy Fuller understood this mystery. Where Harlan pushed, she learned to create space. Her receptivity was not passive surrender, but an active, luminous openness. She discovered that true receiving is a state of calm certainty, a quiet knowing that what is meant for you will find its way. When Nancy relaxed her grip on outcomes, something remarkable happened. Synchronicities began to emerge like gentle threads weaving through her days. A conversation would reveal exactly what she needed. An unexpected letter would arrive with guidance. Opportunities would materialize without her forcing their appearance. Her transformation illustrated a critical spiritual principle. Your sense of deserving rewrites your entire energetic landscape. Receptivity is not weakness. It is a profound form of inner strength. It is the ability to trust that the universe moves in your favor, even when you cannot see the entire path. This is not about wishful thinking, but about neural reprogramming. Your brain learns through consistent emotional states. When you cultivate a feeling of ease and expectant calm, You signal to your nervous system that abundance is natural, that support is your birthright. The teaching crystallizes. Receptivity is an active, luminous state. It is a sophisticated intelligence that understands life's flow cannot be commanded, only welcomed. Your job is not to fight or demand, but to create an internal environment where miracles can naturally emerge. As drowsiness arrives, whisper permission to receive easily, bathing your mind in receptivity. Chapter 24. The Fire of Purpose. In the quiet corners of human experience, where dreams intersect with purpose, lies a profound truth waiting to be awakened. You carry within you a reservoir of potential far deeper than the surface of daily existence, a wellspring of contribution that yearns to be expressed. Marion Clark had long wandered through life believing that meaning was something to be discovered externally, a treasure hidden in distant lands or granted by some external authority. Her days were spent chasing validation, her nights filled with restless uncertainty. She collected achievements like souvenirs, yet felt an emptiness that no external accolade could fill. The universal teaching whispers a different narrative. Purpose is not found, but awakened. It resides within you, a luminous core waiting to be recognized, a frequency of contribution that resonates through your very being. Your inner landscape holds seeds of inspiration that, when nurtured, can transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Gordon Tate understood this sacred principle. Each night, before surrendering to sleep, he would visualize himself contributing, not through grand gestures, but through authentic expression. He imagined moments of genuine connection, ideas that could spark understanding, small acts of kindness that ripple outward. Neuroscience reveals a stunning truth. When you consistently align with your intrinsic purpose, your brain begins to rewire itself. Neural pathways strengthen around your vision, making inspiration not a rare occurrence, but a natural state of being. Motivation becomes less about external push and more about internal flow. Your purpose is not a destination, but a living, breathing energy. It speaks through your passions, your curiosities, the quiet whispers of your heart that emerge when external noise falls away. When you honor these internal signals, you activate a profound neurological mechanism, one that transforms inspiration into tangible reality. Gordon discovered that by visualizing contribution nightly, he wasn't just dreaming. He was instructing his subconscious, programming his neural networks to recognize and pursue meaningful opportunities. Ideas began to emerge spontaneously, solutions to problems he hadn't even consciously considered. The interpretation is clear. When you embrace your purpose with genuine feeling, your brain becomes a fertile ground for persistent creativity. Your neural pathways learn to seek alignment, to translate inner vision into outer manifestation. Before dreamland, affirm quietly that your life contributes light, feeling that warmth expand within. Chapter 25. The Harmony of the Body. Your body is not separate from your mind. It is a living, breathing manifestation of your inner landscape. Every thought you nurture sends ripples through your cellular structure, creating environments of healing or hindrance. The ancient wisdom whispers that your physical form is not a machine, but a responsive, intelligent system that listens intently to the narratives you construct. Consider Ida Gilbert's journey, a woman who once viewed her body as a distant mechanism, disconnected from her mental realm. Her life unfolded like a fragmented story, with mind and body speaking different languages, until illness became the translator that revealed their profound interconnection. Leroy Preston understood this secret intimately. When traditional treatments failed, he turned inward, crafting a radical approach to wellness. Each night, he would close his eyes and imagine his cellular community, not as microscopic entities battling disease, but as harmonious, intelligent beings capable of remarkable transformation. Cells are listeners, Leroy would often say. They absorb not just nutrients, but vibrations of thought and emotion. His nightly practice involved visualizing each cell bathed in a soft, golden light of approval and gratitude. He would mentally communicate appreciation to his body, acknowledging its ceaseless work, its unwavering commitment to maintaining life. The science of mind-body connection reveals that your thoughts are not ethereal, disconnected whispers. They are powerful biochemical signals that activate genetic expressions, modulate immune responses, and recalibrate internal healing mechanisms. Your nervous system does not distinguish between a vividly imagined scenario and a lived experience. It responds to the emotional frequency you generate. Leroy's transformation was not miraculous, but methodical. By consistently sending waves of loving, approving energy to his physical form, he reprogrammed his body's internal dialogue. Chronic conditions that once seemed immovable began to dissolve, replaced by a newfound vitality that emerged from within. Your body is listening, always listening. It receives your thoughts not as abstract concepts, but as concrete instructions. When you criticize yourself, your cells contract. When you praise yourself, they expand. When you envision healing, they begin to reorganize, seeking the blueprint of wellness you've drawn with your imagination. The practice of cellular communication is an art of precision and feeling. It requires more than mere positive thinking. It demands authentic, embodied emotion. Your cells do not respond to superficial affirmations, but to deep, resonant feelings of safety, love, and belonging. As you rest, visualize your body glowing softly with approval of your thoughts. Chapter 26. The Circle of Connection. In the quiet moments before sleep, your body carries stories far beyond what words can express. Each cell remembers, each breath whispers, and within you lies an intricate network of connections more profound than mere physical proximity. Olive Brooks understood loneliness not as an absence of people, but as a disconnection from her own inner landscape. Her life overflowed with acquaintances, yet a deep ache of isolation persisted. She moved through social circles like a ghost, present but unanchored, her heart speaking a language nobody seemed to hear. The universal teaching emerging from her journey reveals a transformative truth. Genuine connection does not arise from quantity, but from the vibrational resonance of your inner being. Your relationships mirror your internal state, reflecting the energy you cultivate within yourself. Samuel Ray understood this wisdom intuitively. Each night, he would enter a meditative state, not seeking to acquire connections, but to radiate an authentic frequency of human warmth. He visualized compassion flowing through him like a luminous river, understanding that true connection begins with inner alignment. When you cultivate genuine empathy, not as a strategy, but as a natural expression of your essence, you become a beacon. Your energy speaks a language more eloquent than words, attracting relationships that resonate with your truest self. The external world responds to your internal symphony, drawing near those who can hear your unspoken melody. The interpretation is clear. Your vibrational frequency determines the quality of your connections. Just as tuning forks resonate at matching frequencies, human beings are drawn together through energetic alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and inner state broadcast a signal that either invites or repels connection. Loneliness, then, is not a verdict but an invitation, a call to return to your authentic self, to cultivate inner peace, to radiate the connection you wish to experience. It is an opportunity to realize that you are never truly separate, that invisible threads of empathy and understanding always exist. Samuel's nightly practice of meditating on human warmth became a powerful transmutation. By visualizing compassionate energy flowing through him, he transformed his experience of isolation. Relationships began to shift, not through forced effort, but through a natural magnetism of aligned energy. As sleep approaches, you have a profound opportunity to rewire your understanding of connection. Your body is not just a physical vessel, but a sophisticated instrument of relational energy, capable of broadcasting and receiving subtle frequencies of understanding. Chapter 27. The Rise of Confidence. In the quiet corners of her mind, Lois Warren carried doubt like an old, heavy cloak. Each evening her thoughts would weave intricate tapestries of uncertainty, painting her potential in muted, hesitant strokes. She had witnessed opportunities slip through her fingers, not because they were beyond her reach, but because she believed herself unworthy of grasping them. The universe whispers its truths in gentle rhythms, and for Lois, that whisper came through Curtis Wayne's story. Curtis understood something profound about the architecture of success, that confidence is not an external condition, but an internal landscape carefully cultivated. Every night, Curtis would pause before sleep and deliberately reconstruct his victories. Not as grand, distant memories, but as living, breathing experiences that resonated within his cellular memory. He would recall moments of triumph, a challenging project completed, a kind word spoken, a personal boundary maintained, and allow those memories to wash over him like a warm, healing light. This was no mere exercise in nostalgia, but a strategic rewiring of his neural pathways. Each remembered success became a thread in the tapestry of his self-image, reinforcing a fundamental truth. He was capable, resilient, and worthy. Your self-image is the lens through which you interpret every experience. When clouded by doubt, even the brightest opportunities appear dim. But when polished with deliberate remembrance of your strengths, that same lens transforms ordinary moments into pathways of potential. The brain does not distinguish between a vividly remembered experience and a powerfully imagined one. By revisiting moments of personal victory, no matter how small, you signal to your subconscious a profound message. I am someone who succeeds. These moments need not be monumental. They might be as simple as maintaining composure during a challenging conversation, completing a task you once thought impossible, or showing kindness to yourself when criticism would have been easier. Curtis understood that limitation is not a circumstance but a choice. By repeatedly experiencing his past successes in his mind's eye, he was not just remembering, he was reprogramming. Each replay was an affirmation, each memory a neural instruction of capability. For you, the practice is simple, yet transformative. As you prepare to drift into sleep, allow one victorious memory to emerge. Feel its texture, its emotional resonance. Let it breathe new assurance into your cells, whispering that your potential is not defined by past hesitations, but by the confidence you choose to nurture tonight. Revisit one victorious memory tonight, feeling it breathe new assurance into your cells. Chapter 28. The Gentle Authority. You stand at the threshold of your most profound transformation, the reclamation of your inner authority. Vera Long's journey mirrors the path many walk, trapped in the labyrinth of external validation, her sense of worth dangling precariously on others' opinions like a fragile pendulum. For years, Vera had measured her value through the lens of others, her parents' expectations, her colleagues' approval, society's narrow definitions of success. Each decision was a careful negotiation, not with her own heart, but with an imagined panel of judges who seemed to hold the secret to her worthiness. The turning point emerged not through grand gestures, but through a whispered promise to herself. In the quiet moments before sleep, Vera began to speak directly to her soul. "I am inherently worthy," she would murmur, "not because of what I achieve, but simply because I exist." These nightly affirmations were not mere words, but seeds of a radical transformation. They carried the potency of self-recognition, slowly dismantling the intricate architecture of self-doubt she had constructed over decades. Fred Harmon's story echoed a similar awakening. A man who had long allowed external systems to dictate his path, he discovered that true autonomy begins in the realm of thought. Each night he would breathe life into statements of self-respect. My worth is not negotiable. My path is valid. My voice matters. The brain, that magnificent orchestrator of experience, began to rewire itself. Neural pathways that once led to self-criticism started to redirect toward self-compassion. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Fred's external world began to mirror his internal revolution. This is the profound truth. Your brain does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and physical reality. When you consistently feed it narratives of self-respect, it begins to construct corresponding experiences. Self-validation is not arrogance. It is a form of spiritual intelligence. Your thoughts are not passive observers, but active creators. Each affirmation is a blueprint, each moment of self-honoring a construction site where your most authentic self is being built. The universe does not respond to your wants, but to your fundamental sense of self. When you recognize your inherent worth, you dismantle the false structures of limitation. You become unmoved by external fluctuations, rooted in the unshakable knowledge of your own value. As sleep approaches, whisper affirmation of your sovereignty, sensing quiet confidence anchor deep. Chapter 29. The Infinite Now. The rhythm of life pulses through the present moment, a truth Nora Payne learned after years of chasing shadows of future possibilities. Her restless mind had always been a traveler, mapping imaginary landscapes of what might be, never truly settling into the fertile ground of now. Each plan, each projection became a barrier between her and the miraculous unfolding of life's true potential. Wilbur Marsh showed her another way. An old friend with eyes that sparkled with quiet wisdom, he demonstrated how presence transforms desire into manifestation. While others strategized and plotted, Wilbur simply breathed into the current moment, allowing life to meet him with unexpected grace. The core teaching whispers a profound truth. Your power resides not in controlling tomorrow, but in fully inhabiting this breath, this heartbeat, this exact instant of existence. When you release the grip of constant planning and surrender to the now, you create a sacred space where miracles can emerge organically. Your mind is a powerful transmitter, constantly broadcasting signals into the universe. When those signals are anchored in present gratitude, they carry a different frequency, one of acceptance, openness, and profound trust. This is not passive waiting, but active receiving. Each moment becomes a portal of creation, where your awareness acts as the alchemical catalyst, transforming potential into reality. Wilbur would often share how he transformed his life not through elaborate schemes, but through nightly practices of present moment appreciation. He would recall the warmth of sunlight on his skin, the taste of morning coffee, the gentle rhythm of his breath. Small moments that most overlook but which contain entire universes of wonder. The interpretation is clear. Manifestation is not a future event, but a continuous unfolding happening right now. Your consciousness is the garden where intentions take root, where dreams breathe and grow. By anchoring yourself in gratitude for this moment, you signal to your subconscious and to the universe that you are ready to receive. As sleep approaches, your practice becomes a sacred ritual of alignment. Focus softly on breathing gratitude for this exact moment as you fade into dream. Chapter 30. The Endless Light Within. You stand at the threshold of perpetual becoming, where every breath marks not an ending, but a beautiful, unfolding transformation. Viola Andrews discovered this sacred truth. Life is not a destination to be conquered, but a luminous journey of continuous awakening. Her story whispers an ancient wisdom, that your neural landscape is not a fixed terrain, but a living, breathing ecosystem of potential. Each moment offers you the opportunity to expand, to rewire, to reimagine yourself beyond the limitations you've previously constructed. When Viola first understood this principle, her world shifted. No longer was she chasing some distant ideal of perfection, but instead she became a curious observer of her own unfolding. Her mind was not a static blueprint, but a dynamic canvas where consciousness painted new possibilities with each intentional brushstroke of thought. Felix Turner embodied this principle of continuous evolution. Each night, as darkness embraced him, he would sit in quiet meditation, not to achieve something, but to merge with the pure radiance residing within. He understood that transformation is not a linear process, but a spherical, omnidirectional dance of energy and awareness. Your brain, like a living river, never truly stops flowing. Neuroplasticity, the miraculous ability of your neural networks to reshape, reconnect, and regenerate, continues even in the deepest realms of sleep. Every experience, every emotion, every fleeting thought contributes to this ongoing process of neural refinement. The key is not to force change, but to trust the inherent intelligence of your biological system. Your subconscious mind knows how to heal, how to adapt, how to expand. By releasing control and surrendering to this innate wisdom, you allow transformation to occur with grace and ease. Consider how a seed does not struggle to become a tree. It simply follows its intrinsic design, responding to light, water, and nurturing soil. Similarly, your consciousness has an organic intelligence that knows precisely how to grow, how to heal, how to manifest your deepest potential. Transformation is not about reaching a final state of perfection, but about embracing the beautiful, continuous process of becoming. Each night, as you drift towards sleep, you are not ending anything. You are simply preparing the ground for new neural connections, for fresh insights, for subtle yet profound shifts in perception. Fall asleep, sensing an infinite glow within, trusting evolution continues lovingly through the night. Part 4. The Horizon of Becoming. Chapter 31. The Voice of the Heart. In the quiet moments before sleep, you carry within you an ancient wisdom far beyond the realm of calculated thinking. Your logical mind, which has long believed control was the path to success, is about to discover a more profound navigation system, the intelligence of your heart. Della Morrison's journey exemplifies this transformation. For years, she mapped her life through spreadsheets and strategic plans, believing rational thought was the sole architect of achievement. Yet her carefully constructed world felt curiously empty, like a beautifully designed house without a living soul inhabiting its rooms. One extraordinary evening, something shifted. As she prepared for sleep, Della paused. Instead of reviewing tomorrow's agenda or mentally rehearsing potential scenarios, she simply listened. Not with her ears, but with an inner sensing that resided deeper than thought, in the quiet pulse of her heart. This was not a mystical experience, but a biological awakening. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field significantly more powerful than your brain, creating a communication network that transcends intellectual understanding. When you learn to listen to its rhythm, you tap into a guidance system far more sophisticated than linear reasoning. Howard Ellis understood this intrinsically. Each night, he would place his hand over his chest, not as a ritualistic gesture, but as a deliberate act of attunement. He would breathe slowly, allowing his heartbeat to become a language, listening as if the universe were whispering its secrets through this gentle, consistent rhythm. The heart's wisdom operates differently from the mind's constant chatter. Where thoughts analyze and divide, heart intelligence synthesizes and connects. It perceives holistic patterns, sensing opportunities and alignments that logical thinking might overlook. This is not about dismissing intellect, but about creating a harmonious partnership between thought and feeling. Your intuition is a living, breathing navigation system. It doesn't predict the future through mystical means, but through an intricate understanding of energetic resonance. When your emotional state aligns with your deepest intentions, you become a powerful attractor of experiences that match your inner frequency. The law of attraction responds not to isolated thoughts, but to the coherent energy generated when heart and mind synchronize. This is where true manifestation begins, not in forceful willing, but in peaceful listening. Before you fall asleep, rest one hand on your heart, breathe deeply, and let it whisper gratitude for your existence until sleep enfolds you in the certainty that all guidance lives within. Chapter 32. The Gift of Reflection. In the quiet hours between day's end and night's embrace, you are learning the art of gentle reflection, a sacred practice that transforms experience into wisdom. Your mind is not a battlefield of critique, but a sanctuary of learning, where each moment can be tenderly examined without the harsh shadows of judgment. Matilda Rowe understood this delicate alchemy long before most. While others would replay their day like a punishing soundtrack, dissecting every misstep and missed opportunity, she developed a different approach. Her evening ritual was not about relentless self-improvement, but about compassionate understanding. When Franklin Young began his own practice of evening reflection, he discovered something profound. Memories are malleable. They are not fixed recordings, but living landscapes that can be revisited with kindness. Each night, he would sit quietly and review his day, not as a prosecutor seeking fault, but as a gentle mentor seeking growth. This approach fundamentally transforms how your brain processes experience. Instead of creating neural pathways lined with anxiety and self-criticism, you begin constructing highways of resilience and compassionate learning. Each remembered moment becomes an opportunity for integration, not punishment. The universe speaks in whispers of wisdom, and reflection is how you learn to listen. Your experiences are not random occurrences, but carefully crafted lessons, each holding a kernel of insight waiting to be discovered. By approaching your day's events with soft awareness, you allow your subconscious to synthesize learning without triggering defensive mechanisms. Imagine your brain as a remarkable library where each experience is a book. Harsh judgment slams these books shut, while gentle reflection opens them, allowing their wisdom to be absorbed slowly, steadily, beautifully. Your neurons are listening, always listening, recording not just what happened, but how you choose to understand what happened. As you prepare to drift into the realm of dreams, you have a powerful opportunity. The moments before sleep are sacred, a threshold where your conscious and subconscious minds meet, where transformation happens most effortlessly. As you sink toward dream, gently recount one moment you handled with grace, letting appreciation ripple through your brain as soft applause from your higher self. Chapter 33, The Return to One. In the gentle twilight of understanding, you discover that fragmentation is but an illusion crafted by a mind believing in separation. Evelyn Harper's journey mirrors your own, a winding path through countless desires that once seemed disconnected, scattered like leaves in an autumn wind. Her life had been a relentless pursuit of external fulfillment, chasing dreams that always seemed just beyond her grasp. But wisdom whispered a profound truth. Every desire, every longing was fundamentally a call to reconnect with the universal source, that infinite consciousness from which all experiences emerge. Your desires are not random fragments, but harmonious expressions of a deeper yearning to remember your inherent wholeness. When Evelyn began to see her scattered wants through this lens, something miraculous occurred. The neural pathways of anxiety and struggle began to smooth, like rivers finding their natural course. Her brain, once a landscape of fragmented intentions, started to rewire itself toward unity. Clyde Abbott's experience illuminated this principle with crystalline clarity. Each evening, he would sit in quiet contemplation, sensing the same fundamental energy flowing through everything, trees swaying with identical rhythm to his breath, stars pulsing in synchronicity with his heartbeat. He realized that separation was merely a mental construct, a temporary illusion masking the profound interconnectedness of all existence. As you absorb these revelations, understand that unity consciousness is not an abstract concept, but a neurological state. When you align with this understanding, your brain begins to recalibrate. The scattered electrical signals of stress and fragmentation transform into coherent waves of calm certainty. The interpretation is clear. Surrendering to unity does not mean passive acceptance, but an active recognition of your fundamental connection to something greater. This surrender quiets the incessant mental chatter, installing a deep confidence in divine timing and universal support. Your neural networks begin to reflect this understanding, creating pathways of ease and trust. The brain learns that you are not separate from the flow of life, but an integral part of its unfolding mystery. Tonight, as you lie in stillness, imagine dissolving into vast starlight, feeling no separation, only gentle belonging that rewires the brain to rest forever in peace. Every audiobook on this channel is a doorway, but the full map of the metaphysical laws lies beyond what I can reveal in any single video. That map is shared privately inside our free newsletter, The Hidden Collection. Join now and receive a free copy of the Kybalion, the original text that first revealed these metaphysical laws to humanity. Limited time only. Conclusion. As you rest, understand that each breath carries the potential of transformation. Your thoughts are not mere whispers, but architects of reality, quietly constructing neural pathways that will illuminate tomorrow's landscape. Every moment of gratitude you nurture becomes a seed of possibility. Every feeling of love a catalyst for miraculous unfolding. The brain listens intently to your innermost emotional broadcasts, translating your subtle vibrations into biochemical instructions. When you choose peace, when you embrace trust, when you envision expansion, you are not simply hoping. You are instructing your most fundamental biological systems to realign with your highest potential. Your consciousness is not limited by past patterns or inherited limitations. Each night, as you surrender to sleep, you are given a sacred opportunity to reprogram your inner narrative. The universe does not judge your worthiness. It simply responds to the frequency you consistently transmit. Imagine your mind as a luminous instrument, capable of tuning itself to any melody of experience. Your thoughts are not random. They are precise frequencies that attract corresponding experiences. By consciously selecting thoughts of abundance, connection, and growth, you become the deliberate composer of your life's symphony. In this moment between wakefulness and dream, you are neither seeking nor waiting. You are becoming, a continuous, fluid state of emergence where potential transforms into reality through the gentle power of your attention and intention.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.